Again, happy to meet again one of my good buddies and friends back in our medical years. Hello to our net friends out there. Salamat again for joining us sa Moment of Truth. Ang ating episode tonight, I'm very glad to present to you a very good friend of mine, a dear classmate in West Visayas State University. Should I say the year?
No need.
No need, yes. Actually, I was very surprised kasi when I texted, I messaged my friend one time, why are you here in Abu Dhabi? Kasi like in my room, I received a name, Erwin Lloyd Gilliargan, as a patient. And so after that, I messaged him, why are you in Abu Dhabi when he's not there? So actually, he has a cousin
Mm-hmm.
cousin with the
Yes.
same name exactly na who went to my office. So my friends,
Mhm.
let's welcome my dear friend, Dr. Erwin Lloyd Gilliargan. Erwin, I will give you the time to briefly give an introduction of yourself.
Hello. Good evening to all the viewers and listeners of Ruth. Yeah, it's true. Ruth and I have been friends for such a long time. In fact, getting to know her family when I was still working in the Middle East with
Mhm.
Medicines Sans Frontiers with the MSF.
Mm-mm.
I am already on my 22nd year of working in the medical humanitarian field. So I'm currently working for the Norwegian Red Cross as a secondment for the International Committee of the Red Cross. So I've worked in over 80 countries already, I should say, from the
Oh,
time that
parang
I
United
started.
Nations ka na win.
So since I started way back in 2002, so most of these are emergency response related,
Mhm.
and quite recently it's more about medical operational activities. So
Mhm.
that's in the gist my work.
Wow, parang kung ako ang listener, parang it's so big, it's so huge a task.
Mm,
Medyo malabo kung sa ordinary person. But I know that you're a pediatrician like me, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's correct.
Uh,
That's correct.
sa Riverside ka nag-train?
Yeah, that's
Oh
correct.
yes, Riverside Medical Center in Bacolod City. Yes, mga Ilonggo to. Mga Ilonggo to, mga net friends, ang mga sa harap ninyo ngayon. I was
Ah,
just wondering na from your field as a pediatrician, how did you start this international career in humanitarian cause as a medical doctor?
Um, I think it's going to take us a lot of time to explain, and actually, sometimes I also ask myself why I veered into the medical humanitarian field.
Uh-huh.
But I think um, soon after the training was finished, and this was around the year 2000, and I got my fellowship exam, I felt
Mm.
like it was like a rat race. You know, if you're a beginner, you know, if you're just a fresh graduate out of a
Mm.
training, the competition for patients is quite tough. You know, anywhere in the Philippines, I should say it's not only in Bacolod, it's not only in Iloilo, but anywhere in the Philippines. Because one, you have to build your name. Second, you have to
Mm.
prove your worth. So
Yeah.
when I when I saw an opportunity for a volunteership, I then applied for it. And halfway through, I was already dreading my decision why I should leave because, in some ways, you know, I was surviving. I was doing quite well. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I went on my first mission, that was in Vanuatu in the South Pacific, and I realized that the need for medical professionals in the humanitarian field is such a great
Mm,
honor and privilege. I
mm-hmm.
never looked back.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, that's the main
Y-
reason.
You know, the reason why I asked that, kasi ang eldest ko win, ano na siya, intern. She's a PGI now sa, yes, sa veterans. Following in my
Congratulations.
footsteps. Yes, praise God.
Mm,
And she was asking me because she knew that I have a friend who's into this cause. Sabi ko,
mm,
don't worry, one day I will interview him. And then she will listen to this. So shout out to my daughter, Angeline, there in Veterans Hospital. Ayusin yung inyong training dyan. Kayo ang next generation. So that's how it
mm,
is. Actually, sometimes when I see your posts, no, na andon ka sa mga areas na may mga war, andon ka sa mga areas na like when I heard you were in Afghanistan, of all places, Afghanistan. And then lately, 'di ba?
Yemen.
When the government was toppled and then it was taken over by the Taliban, I I saw your post that you were there and then you were in a bunker. Can you tell us about that experience?
Well, actually, I spent quite recently in Yemen. You know, Yemen is one of the highly insecure places. So there's a
Tama, tama.
protracted war that has been going on for quite some time, and it's one of the
Mm.
scariest places I've ever been.
Mm.
Taliban in Afghanistan. There was an incident that happened some years back, 2011, if I remember it correctly, where I had AK-47 Kalashnikovs on my head when we started the hospital in Kunduz in the north of Afghanistan.
Oh,
But recently, when I was in Yemen, it was really scary because the airstrikes are happening like 4 to 5 times in a day. And
wow.
it was an indiscriminate attack. They were initially attacking the military bases, military installation, but
Uh-huh.
from November 2021 until around February 2022, the attacks had been very severe and they were attacking communities. So all of us had to stay in the bunker for this.
Oo, oo. So
It's
even
something that you can't
civilians, you
get
mean?
used to. Sorry?
So even civilians, they are attacking?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
They're attacking. So there is this fight that's going on between the Saudi-led coalition and the Houthis who are present
Mm-hmm.
in Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
So the Houthis are trying to protect their territory, and the
Mm-hmm.
protracted war has been going on since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Although there is a lot of issues that dates back as early as the early 2000s. So, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been going on like it's getting worse actually. It's getting worse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Grabe, no? So like we are just thinking that the normal medical work is like the OPD sitting on a desk, listening to patients, telling their stories, complaints, and then i-diagnose mo, and then you will give the prescription, make the
Mm.
diagnostics. But sa'yo, I know you're managing such hospitals or centers. How do you do it? Paano mo siya minamanage na different, each country different protocol, and each
Mhm.
area different na naman na management, and who supports you in this endeavor?
I think experience really helps because
Mm-hmm.
once you are familiar with the context, you know, you get to understand what the culture is, you get to understand what is the health seeking behavior, how are the people adapting the resiliency. You're able to find your way or to navigate your way around the health system, especially when the health system is already collapsing. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of support, we have people naman in the headquarters who are going to help you in this. But of course, at the end of the day, you will be left alone to manage all of these things because one, during the COVID, they cannot travel.
Yes.
That was the main issue that we had. Two, it's always very difficult to get visas into these war-torn countries. It's always
Mm,
very difficult for them. We're lucky enough that as Filipinos, we're in some or sort of a neutral status, you know, quote unquote.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Arab countries. So in some ways, it proved to be easier for me to be able
Mhm.
to get a visa, you know.
Hmm.
And it was very funny kay Ruth ng I was expecting that my visa would be delayed for like 3 or 4 months. You know,
Uh-huh.
I in 2020 I applied on November 15 or something, and then on December 3rd I got my visa. So I said like,
Wow.
sayang. I thought I would be
2 weeks,
spending
ah.
Christmas at home.
Hindi ka
So
makabakasyon.
and while others were waiting for more than 6 months to get their
Oh,
visa, and I got
wow.
mine in less than 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So
So,
yeah.
meron din palang problem sa mga visa, 'no? I was thinking if you're like an international entity, like 'di ba
Mm,
normally ang health field like the Red Cross, they're like
mm.
neutral. I thought the nationality will not matter. So it really matters also, no?
Oo, kay it's how the organization deals with a specific government naman eh. Like
Mm.
other organizations, for example, they are declared persona non grata by a specific government or by a specific group of people.
Ah.
So they're not able to get the visas. And
Mhm.
sometimes it takes not only 2 to 3 months, 6 months, but sometimes it takes a long, long time. So in some countries, there will be no representatives, no actors to actually implement programs. So
Mhm. Medyo may complication din pala. I was thinking like,
mm,
okay, pag international, okay, everything is set. May nag may
I
mga
think
ano din
that
pala.
that I think that differentiates us from WHO and from UN agencies because
Ah,
a lot of the organizations, for example, don't have the status that the UN or WHO has. So
okay.
and WHO, they're more into making sure that there is a protocol in place or support the current health system of the government.
Mm. Mhm.
But in terms of implementation, it's the NGOs who are doing this. So it's ICRC, MSF, Save the
Ah,
Children, all these other organizations.
okay. Wow. Really, God bless these NGOs who take so much care and effort para ma-reach out itong mga kabayan natin or mga people around the world who really need it best. Of course, sa mga dami, 'di ba sabi mo 80 countries na yung halos na ikot mo na kaya sabi ko parang UN ka na rin na moving UN. Was there a country that really took your heart except the Philippines? Yung parang doon talaga na hulog ang loob mo?
I can think of two actually.
Mhm.
The first one was my first mission in Ethiopia because I arrived there at the height of the hunger gap.
Wow.
So, you know what you read, what you see
Yeah.
in videos and pictures of these children dying from malnutrition.
Mm.
I've seen it, smell it, tasted it, and the worst or probably the best thing that happened to me, I don't know how you would define it, was
Yes.
I arrived at a time when there was a malaria outbreak, Kala Azar
Oh,
outbreak, and then measles outbreak all at the same
wow.
time.
You're
So
a survivor, I can say.
yes, that's why I said I loved it. And I was alone. I was alone in the
Ah.
project because
Mm.
it was very difficult for them to get to that place. They didn't get the
Mhm.
visa. So for 8 months, I managed the whole program. I was the logistician, I was the fin admin, I was the doctor, I was the field co and everything. But it
Wow.
was a very um it was a very good learning experience for me. And then
Mhm.
since then on, it just cemented my desire to work in the medical humanitarian field. So
Amazing.
the other is Myanmar, downright
Aha,
Myanmar.
Myanmar talaga. It was recent, isn't it? Ang Myanmar.
Yes,
Na,
I was there 2.5 years ago, and I
mm,
managed I started as a consultant for UNODC,
mm,
and then I was asked by one organization to stay and manage the programs.
mhm.
And it was a new program for me because it deals with harm reduction of heroin addicts in the north and
Oh,
south of the country. So
okay.
we had over 200,000 people in our cohort that are heroin addicts, and we
Oh,
started quite a big program. It's more of a holistic program because we also treat for HIV, hepatitis C, so all of this.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very nice program.
Yeah, 'di ba usually kasi when you're a drug addict, usually injectables, kasama na din yung mga STDs and mga HIV
Yeah,
risks, ano? Wow,
yeah.
grabe. Napaka-amazing ng mga stories. And then actually, nag-wonder lang kasi ako like, napakarami kasing misconceptions about this kind of work. Akala kasi nila, ano lang, nag-order ka lang around, and then at your beck and andun lang mga tao
Mm,
sumusunod lang sa'yo, no? Beck and call
mm,
mo. But they cannot imagine these things that you're saying na tulad na sa Ethiopia when you were there, hands-on, lahat-lahat ginawa mo. I think personally, no, I really think it's a blessing kung bakit ka naging pediatrician in the first place. Kasi you can also treat adults if you're a pediatrician, isn't it? But it's hard to treat children if you have no background about it. So it
yeah,
really
that's
helped you,
true.
especially, no? Mm-mm.
And I think what helps me in my work, with a pediatrician as a background, is you always think about the thing programs that would be beneficial for the children. Like for example, when I was in
Mm-hmm.
Syria, we had to think of a breast milk bank because people are on the move. Mothers cannot
Oh,
provide breast milk to
yes,
the children,
true.
so
Oo.
you have to think about what is best for the children as well, not just for one entire population who
Mm-mm.
are vulnerable, who are on the move, but
Mm-mm.
then first and foremost into your program, you would put things that would be beneficial for the children.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Alam mo, when I think about it, there are so many things that this world really lacks, no?
Yeah.
Pero there are little, too little kung sa, ano pa, the vineyard is full, but the laborers are few. Kung sa
True,
biblical terms pa, no? Yung
true.
ganoon.
That's very true. Yeah.
Okay. But let me ask this thing. Kasi 'di ba mahirap yung palipat-lipat ka ng mga countries. Ano yung inspiration mo aside from of course na nakakatulong ka sa ibang tao? What drives you to do these things?
Um, Definitely not the salary. Definitely.
Okay,
And I
okay.
think we need to change this misconception that once you're working
Uh-huh.
for international organization, the
Uh-huh.
salary is always good. No, it's not
Okay.
always the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like for example, if you are working for an medical organization like MSF, Medicine du Monde,
Mm-hmm.
Save the Children, you're receiving a very small amount of money, and you're considered as a volunteer.
Yeah. So parang
Unless,
vulnerable ka noon, 'di ba? Oo.
oh. But what really drives you, I think, what really drives me is that not only do I get a valuable experience, but at the end of the day, it's really nice to have that feeling that you're able to provide support not only to one, to two, 20 people, but to an entire population.
Mhm.
Especially the most vulnerable one. And like for example, the population on the move because of war.
Yes.
They don't have access to healthcare. So when you provide them with an access, for example, you don't only provide for a couple of people, you provide for the entire population. So
Mm.
that's for me the redeeming factor why I stay in this profession for such a long time. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Napaka-touching naman yan. Kasi, yeah, there are so many misconceptions talaga dahil sabi nila, wow, international worker, laki, laki. Ganun. Of course, the responsibility is bigger. And
Mhm.
the danger that you put yourself also into multicultural. I'm just curious, did you ever experience being, when you're in a foreign country, you have this thing called discrimination despite your status?
Actually, yes, I should say that, but not in the field, not in a war-torn country,
Mm-hmm.
because whoever is there, medical persons, nurse, doctor, physical therapist, you're always welcome to provide the support. But the
Mm-hmm.
discrimination I felt was when I was working in the headquarters. I will not mention where or who,
Of
but
course,
it
yeah.
was but it was very funny because and me, I'm very vocal. I'm
Yeah.
very open. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always like giving a
Say
reaction
what you're
whenever
thinking.
something. Yes, I always do that. So there was this white lady who
Uh,
I worked with for a long, long time. And it was my last day working in the headquarters. And hambal niya sa akin, what she told me was that, oh, so you're leaving today? So I said, yes, it's my last day. And I'm going to Brazil.
uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
then, like, oh, you're going for a holiday? I said, no, I'm going to work as a medical director for this organization in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I said, um, but you're not white.
Huh?
I was dumbstruck. You know, I cannot respond. I did not respond because I don't know what to say.
True.
You know,
Yeah,
right
even
in
me,
front
I'm
of
just
you.
listening. I'm shocked. What's got it to do with my work?
Yes, yes. But you're not white. And it's like, okay,
Okay.
true. That happened.
I mean, thinking about it now, what could you have responded?
I don't know. I could have thought of a witty retort, but at that time, na-shock lang gid ko. I was
Yeah.
so shocked to hear that coming from somebody who worked with a humanitarian organization for such a
Yes.
long time.
You cannot think na, ay, may mga ganito pa rin palang mga incidents na even ang coworker
Mm-mm.
ko will still think low of me because I'm Asian, like this.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we still
And
we
also, I don't know if you've experienced it as well, but for us as foreign workers,
mm-mm.
all the time we're mistaken as either a factory worker or a DH. I've nothing against that,
True,
but
true.
there's this generalization.
Yeah.
There's this generalization that for us as Filipinos, as Asian, when you go to a
Mm-mm.
foreign country, you're
Mm-mm.
automatically mistaken, not only by the people from that country, but
Mm-mm.
also by your fellow Filipinos.
Kabayan. Yeah, oo.
Yes,
Yan nga, yan
you
nga.
know.
Actually, when the first time I went out of the country to work as to venture here in Abu Dhabi, anyhow, a few minutes na lang naman. Um I even told myself na kung kaya nga ng mga nagtrabaho as DH, kaya din ng isang doktor na tulad ko lumabas.
Oo.
Oo, 'di ba? So actually
Mm,
it's parang at least ang ano na lang ngayon kasi 'di ba I am also coalescing with the embassy and ang ganda din ng mga trend ngayon kasi the push now is for people to go out of the country not to work as DH but as skilled workers only lang meron din tayong brain drain
mm,
doon.
mm.
So anyhow, ayan, malapit na tayong matapos. Before we close, is there anything else that you would like to give as an advice sa ating mga fellow medical workers or even for those who are not really doctors but are in the medical field? Especially this time of COVID, doon na-realize natin ang value ng mga medical people as the frontliners. Frontliners yung pangalan natin ngayon as compared sa dati na kung ano-anong category. And especially sa Filipinos, we are so in demand around the world because of our special care. So
That's
anong
true.
gusto mong i-leave na thought on this?
Um, I think those who are interested to be in the medical humanitarian field, you need to have a commitment to what you want to do. Because if you're just there just to try it out, and then at the end, later on, you would say, na, this is not meant for you. You are leaving a gap. Once you're there, and then you said, okay, this is not for me. You're going to leave a gap.
Mm-hmm.
This gap that you will leave is very essential. Is really important because you're going to the population that you're working for is in the palm of your hands, no.
Mm-hmm.
um Other probably is for those who are really interested is for you to increase your skill, and I've no doubt that Filipinos can do that, no, because we're
Mm-hmm.
very resilient, we're very
Uh,
open to learning, we're quite happy in a new environment,
mm-hmm.
pwede tayo atiis-tiis lang.
Correct.
But having a set of skills is actually very necessary because be it the communication skill, be it a skill in the way that you do your work, or be it a skill in writing. So develop your skills for you to be able to not only stay as let's say as a nurse or
Mm,
as a primary care doctor,
mm,
because most of these organizations, they have a career plan. So from a field doctor, you can be a hospital director, a hospital manager, a hospital supervisor, and then
mm,
you can do programs, and once you have that experience, I would guarantee you that organizations will be running after you, because at the
mhm,
end it's very important for the managers to be able to know how to plan, to do
mm,
strategic planning,
mhm.
and be able to implement these programs.
All right.
So that's
Wow.
all from my side.
Thank you, Win. Okay, last to hear it. I know na ano, pero
Hmm.
parang alam mo when you try to catch up, parang kulang yung oras mo to tell things. One thing, I was just wondering, eh, na sometimes na lalagay ka sa mga areas which are war-torn, and it's possible that there could be some surgical wounds out there. Nagsusuture ka rin? Kung emergencies
I
and
do everything.
everything? Ah,
I do
alright.
everything.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering about it tulad ng before sa Afghanistan, alam ko na ano kayo na abo na may minsan one time you shared about a wedding party na
Hmm.
bomb,
My
and then of
plans.
course, yeah, oo. Kaya I was just wondering, of course, kung andun ka sa field, you will do everything. You will act also as a
And
surgeon and
this is
everything.
why they prefer Filipinos, because like we're very resourceful. Filipinos are
Mm-mm.
very resourceful.
Mm-mm.
So if there's a need for us to step up and do things,
Mm-mm.
we do it the best way we can. And this is why they prefer Filipinos to work
Yes.
as medical humanitarians.
Even with the meager supplies and everything, 'di ba?
Yes.
Mag-innovate and everything. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so isa na lang. Last, sa ikot-ikot mo ng ito, I don't know if you don't like me to ask this. Wala ka man lang may nakabihag sa mailap mong puso?
Um,
Or is it hard? Is it hard in your career?
I I think to be in a relationship is quite easy. To maintain the relationship is going to be very difficult.
True,
Now,
true.
because both of you are humanitarians, you're coming from it would be lucky for you to find somebody with the same passion as you,
True, true.
or the same nationality for that matter. And if ever that happens, um, there needs to be a lot of compromise. There needs to be a lot of sacrifices, not only from your side but also from her side.
Yes, true.
And oftentimes when you make these discussions about compromises, you don't meet each other eye to eye. So that's the difficulty. It's easy
Mm.
to find, but it's difficult to maintain.
Yun lang. Yun lang. True. So maraming maraming
Pangkain na
salamat.
lang po da.
Dire pero magstay ka din sa Abu Dhabi. Damo. I'll give you my friend, ang bait, very passionate also. She's a PT. I will recommend her.
Sige, 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 sige.
Thank you, Win. It was fun and happy to meet up with you kahit sa online lang. And God bless. I will pray about your plans. And before we end, where's your next stop?
From here, this coming Wednesday, I'm going to Myanmar again, to
Again.
manage the three countries. Yes,
Uh-huh.
Myanmar, Cambodia, and Indonesia.
Uh-huh.
So three different countries with three different programs. So,
Oh,
inshallah, it will be good.
inshallah. Okay. So God bless and thank you so
Thank you.
much. I will continue to pray for your programs and the group that you belong to. And may God protect us also in this coming years. Alam natin the world is facing a very, very great challenge ahead of us, but He knows the way. So maraming salamat. I hope you had
Thank you.
enjoyed yeah, sa ating mga
Definitely.
net friends
Advance,
din.
yeah, advance Eid Mubarak to all of you there and your friends who are there in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you so much. I hope one day you can drop by. Just give me a PM.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Thank you
Bye,
also, Ruth.
everyone.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Win. God bless
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.